Hi guys, it's Dave in real life and welcome to this Star Wars ranked best to worst video. Yes, I do realise that talking about Star Wars is a bit of a minefield, especially when you're trying to rank the movies. I do realise that this franchise does spread between at least 3 generations. My generation obviously being the originals, then we've got the noughties generation, which is the prequels, and then we've got to today's audience, which is the sequels. Do realise that people have their own personal favourites, so that's perfectly fine, but this is my list and these are my thoughts and feelings about the franchise. So without further ado, at number 11, and the worst Star Wars film, in my opinion, is The Last Jedi. Why is this so low down? Why is this the worst one? I just think it's just purely down to the director, Rian Johnson. I just think that he didn't listen or watch the first film, which was Force Awakens, and follow the narrative what was set by J.J. Abrams. He just went and created his own little movie. Yes, there is the connection between Rey and Kylo, which was pretty good. I did like that in that movie, but just the rest of it made no sense. He kills off Snoke near the end, which was supposed to be the big bad, and doesn't give you any other like a big bad in this series. I mean, Kylo, yes, becomes the new supreme leader of the First Order, but that's it. He's not the big bad. We don't feel any hatred towards him at the end of this movie. There's not even a second battle between him and Rey. They actually fight side by side, which is just literally bizarre. And you're just left with this broom boy at the end, which is a signal of hope, but hope against what exactly is his message here? Because there's no big bad. You've killed the big bad, or as we believed at that particular point was the big bad, which was Supreme Leader Snoke. You give us nothing to believe that, you know, Kylo Ren was now this new big bad. The Luke situation, I got that. I thought that was pretty cool because Luke using the Force to project himself was to distract Kylo. Kylo didn't kill him. He actually killed himself, protecting Leia and obviously Rey and the others. So that was pretty cool. I did like that moment. The double narrative between Rose and Finn, I didn't really get. Finn was going to save everybody by committing suicide by driving into the Rey at the end, and then Rose comes and saves him. So I don't get the character arc, what they give us with that. Surely it should have been Rose what had done that in the first place, to follow what her sister had done at the start of the movie, which were a sacrifice for everybody else. That would have given her a better story arc. That, you know, the heroes in these movies don't generally have to survive. Rogue One definitely is a good example of that. Yeah, I just think this movie tanked. It didn't progress the story. You went into the last one, which is Rise of Skywalker, literally thinking, what the hell, where's the story going, who's the big bad in this one? I do think that J.J. Abrams had way too much work ahead of him in that movie. So that's why Last Jedi is the worst. At number 10, Attack of the Clones, similar reasons, but this predominantly was meant to be a love story, a tragic love story. How Anakin and Padme got together, and how they would cause trouble. How is this going to change Anakin into Darth Vader? And it failed. I do think that the Hayden Christensen's performance of Anakin, especially at the early stage of that movie, was creepy, for one. He was obsessing about Padme all the way through the film, stalking kind of feel into it as well. So it made, when they did finally realise they had feelings for her, especially Padme having feelings for him, it didn't work. I didn't really feel that that part of it worked as a movie. Then we get on to what trash that final battle was. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, all I ever wanted to see was all the Jedi in action as a unit. And what did we get? We got little glimpses of it, but we basically focused on the two flipping droids, which was R2-D2 and C-3PO, and C-3PO having his head put on a droid. Yes, it's fun, I suppose, but when you're a Star Wars fan, you just wanted to see that massive battle with the Jedi, and we never got it. It just felt flat and disinteresting, and then they moved away from it really, really quickly, and then we just had the clones versus the robots, the Roger droids, which are just annoying. I just think the old film just ended up being a mess, and yeah, there was no real big reveal in it either. I mean, you'd already had the big reveal in it, Phantom Menace, about Palpatine and everything, so it just didn't do anything. It just felt flat as a movie. Just a lot of stuff in there what made no sense. Like, still don't know who Cypher DS is. And I suppose if you've never watched Star Wars, neither will you. But that's number 10. Number 9 is Solo, the Star Wars story. This was the second attempt to tell a different story from the universe, having a look at a certain character and how they came about, and this is the Han Solo story. It's not a great movie. It literally is one scene after another. They'll go to one place, they show up, go to one place, they show up, meaning like troopers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just the backstory to Han Solo doesn't work for me. Yes, he's plucky, happy-go-lucky kind of character in here. The actor who plays him looks like he's cosplaying as Buddy Harrison Ford as Han Solo, which is a bit annoying. We've got the social justice robot as well. Oh my god. And then why is Lando Calrissian all of a sudden pans and wanting to date a robot? I mean, I don't get it. It's just weird. I mean, whoever thought that that was a good idea needs to have a good look at their lives. But yeah, the movie itself, it would have been great as a standalone away from the Star Wars universe, but the fact that it was a Han Solo story, it made little sense. The fact how Han Solo got his last name was lame. He was just an officer when he was registering to join the Empire, as it were. Just said, what's your last name? I ain't got one. Oh, so you're going Solo, so we're going to call you Solo. That was it. That's how he got his last name. Man, it just sums up the movie for me. So that's at number 9. At number 8 is The Fountain Menace. Reason why it's so low down on the list, I know probably people what got into Star Wars at that particular time would rate this movie highly. I don't. There was so much time had gone between Return of the Jedi right until Phantom Menace that when the OG generation got to watch this new version of Star Wars, we just left dumbfounded to what this was. This is basically a green screen mess. This is just like this video with my background. Green screen everywhere. It didn't work for me. Jar Jar Binks as a character didn't work for me. Very annoying. Misa. Yeah, if you've seen the film, you know. You probably didn't even need to see the film to have known how Jar Jar Binks was. That's how infamous that character became. I have scored it higher than the other three so far because it's got an excuse. It is predominantly a kids film. It is genuinely created for kids. You've got a pod race in there. You've got Jake Lloyd as the young Anakin. The script for him was absolutely horrendous. In fact, I don't even think George Lucas put that maximum effort into the script to this because it just was flat. Putting Metachlorians into the mix in the Star Wars realm just seemed very, very bizarre. Especially when he set it up in New Hope about it being the Earth and the surroundings and human nature and all that lot. And then, oh, no, it's just midichlorians. It's just to set what exists inside you so that anybody could be a Jedi or a Sith Lord or whatever. So that's just maddening that was even included. But yeah, to be honest, it was just a kids' film. The marketing of Jar Jar Binks was to sell toys, as the pod racing was to sell computer games. It was just a massive marketing tool, and yeah, that's why it flopped for me. We go on to number 7, which is The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, I've talked badly about Last Jedi. Now I'm going to talk pretty badly about this one. It's not the worst film I've seen in the Star Wars franchise. There's a lot of good elements to it, but there was just a lot of we need to do this to get to this point, we need to do that to get to that point. Yeah, just a lot of misdirect and a lot of yeah, I don't think it ever really settles down. You're really having to use the actors as the narrative to get you to one point to another point. Yeah, it is a bit of a mess, but J.J. Abrams, when he took it on, had a lot to recon and sort out from Last Jedi. He brought back Palpatine, even though that should have been heavily entered in Last Jedi and wasn't, because it is there in Force Awakens, and it's like the seed was set but wasn't continued. It was like Rian Johnson just decided to ignore it. So he had to, it looked like he just brought Palpatine in for Rise of Skywalker out of nowhere, but he hadn't. The seed was set. And it's really annoying that, you know, you had that middle film absolutely ruined the narrative of this trilogy. Case in point, if you're going to do a trilogy, have the same director do all of them, or at least have the story set from the beginning. Don't leave it to chance that a story will come out of nothing. Yeah, so that's Disney. That's a warning to you guys. I mean, we say this about Disney. They gave us The Mandalorian, which is absolutely class. So I can't diss them too much. But yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, it's at number 7. It's a good place for it to be. It's not the best, and it's certainly not the worst. We go to number 6, and that's Rogue One. I think probably people would put this higher on the list, but it's at number 6 because obviously we know the story before it even started. New Hope, the first Star Wars films, tells you what happens to them at Rogue One straight away in the opening crawl. So yeah, it's not a surprise that this movie is not as high up. It has got a lot of good stuff in it. Jean Erso, or as I called her in my recent toilet, Jay Huso. Yes, just the makeshift love story, what they threw in. I do like a lot of the action sequences in this, and how badass Darth Vader is at the end. Just flinging people around with the Force is just legit why this is at number 6 for me. Yeah, it's just a good little film, but yeah, it's not something that you can rewatch again and again because you know the ending, that pretty much the Rogue One guys are not surviving. Oh, sorry if I've just spoiled it for you, but New Hope already did that, so. Right, so at number 5, this is going to shock a lot of people, especially proper Star Wars fans, but this is my list. It's nothing, I'm not taking anything away from it. It's still pretty high up on this countdown. But it's Star Wars, The New Hope. Yes, the original. I think reasons why this is so low down on the list is because when it came out here in the UK, when I was younger, actually Empire Strikes Back had already aired on TV here in the UK. Yes, it took at least 2 to 3 years before New Hope actually got onto UK telly. I was only a young lad when these films were originally out, so I wasn't going to the cinema like my brother was. So to have seen the second one before the first one had televised, yeah, and then just seeing the difference between the two movies, it was, yeah, I think New Hope just didn't really grab my attention as much. As an adult, I do like it. It's very different to most sci-fi films, especially for the first one. But did a lot happen as a movie in it? Not really. It's kind of slow. It is character building, I get that, and universe building. But other than that, it's not the greatest of movies, I'm afraid. It does kickstart off this amazing franchise, but other than that, that's all it really does. That's why that is so low down. This would probably kick a lot of people off because this is number 4 and above New Hope. I know, this is madness. I've just slagged off the prequels, and now one of the prequels is better than New Hope. Your comment section's going to go mad. But have your say, be kind. This is my list, not yours. You have your list in the comment section. Go mad if you want to, but just remember this is my list, not yours. And that is Revenge of the Sith is number 4. Yes, I am taking away the last 10 minutes of this movie because that sucked. I didn't need the robot giving birth to Luke and Leia. That scene sucks and didn't need to be there. Seeing Obi-Wan go to Tatooine, seeing Obi-Wan go to the baby going to Alderaan. We didn't need to see any of that. We all know that. You've all watched New Hope. We've all seen Empire Strikes Back at this point. So they should have just left it on Darth Vader being revealed without the no bit. Yeah, that could have been dumped out. But just seeing Darth Vader rise up and crush stuff should have been enough to end that particular film. If you disagree, you disagree, that's perfectly fine. But if it had finished there, I'm sure Revenge of the Sith probably would have been higher on the list, in all honesty. But it is at number 4, and proper reasons why is that it's just a bloody good film. It's entertaining, it's action-packed, got great choreography in it. I love the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar. I just love that. I let that up in the cinema. Was buzzed after watching that film, which is just good memories to have when you come out of the cinema and you're buzzed for the film that you've just watched. After, like I say, just after watching it a couple of times afterwards, I don't really feel the same buzz anymore. But it's usually it's basically because the last, I don't know, 10-20 minutes of it just really didn't need to be there. We're not stupid, George Lucas. I mean, seriously, we didn't need that spoon fed to us. I'm sure we could have worked all that stuff out. But that's literally the last 10 minutes or so with that film was the only gripe that I had, and that's why that is number 4. Number 3 is The Return of the Jedi. So I put this at number 3 is because of it's the conclusion of the original trilogy. Has a lot of fun moments in it. We see Luke, fully badass Jedi. Yes, he hadn't completed his training because he needed to face his dad and face his fear. So I just love the story, what they told in this. Yes, could have done without the Ewoks. Fun fact about this film, it was meant to be the Wookiees on Kashyyyk, which we did get that in Revenge of the Sith. But something to do with the fact that there wasn't many 6 foot, 7 foot actors around at that particular time. Yeah, but that's why it is at number 3. It is a good film. Got a lot of good moments in it. Yeah, At number 2, this is a shocker as well. It is Force Awakens. When this first came out, I couldn't wait to see it. Loved the new cast, loved the direction it was going. It gave us old and new vibe. Yes, it is a lot of the tread set by New Hope, but just done with a new cast. It just seemed fresh. For some reason, it seemed fresh. And I know a lot of people just think, oh no, but it's New Hope. How can you not? I can hear the comments now. How can you put it above New Hope when it's just New Hope? We asked. I get you, I hear you. I heard that gripe, but I just love Daisy. I love Finn, the character. I just loved the cast. I thought Kylo, Adam Driver, looked amazing during this film. Yes, everybody got a little bit butter that Harrison Ford as Han Solo gets killed at the end, but I got it. He was never meant to get past Empire Strikes Back. He wanted to die in that film, so it's poetic justice that he got to die in this one. I don't want to see an old aging Harrison Ford treading around the galaxy trying to act all young, because that doesn't seem right well with me. If we wanted Harrison Ford, Luke and Leia all back in a Star Wars film, they should have done it a hell of a lot sooner than what they did. Waiting this long was just ridiculous. I can see the gripes that people had, but this is my list. I actually loved Force Awakens. I'd watched it quite a lot of times when it first came out, trying to nitpick and try and get clues to how this trilogy was going to go. And yes, it was just intriguing. And I just kept watching it back. It's just a good film to literally stick on and not really, I don't know, now I could just stick it on and not really watch it because I've probably seen it that many times. But yeah, but that's why that's number 2. At number 1, not a surprise, I think it's on top of everybody's Star Wars list, especially if you're my age. And that is Empire Strikes Back. Just an amazing film. It's just got a really good story. It's got a love story intertwined, and yes, George Lucas, that's how you do it. That's how you intertwine a love story. Just really good. I mean, I'm talking about Luke, not about Luke and Leia. That awkward kiss in this film is really just awkward. But the actual love story between Leia and Han Solo is perfectly done. And yes, this wasn't directed by George Lucas either. It was Irving Kershner who directed this film. That's why it's so good. I do think people give too much credit to George Lucas, and you have to actually strip it down a little bit and realise that he's not that genius that we all thought he was. That Irving Kershner literally directed this perfectly and created that masterpiece. Yes, it was in the vision of what George Lucas wanted, but it's Irving Kershner what actually drove it home. So that's why it's so good. Just love the story arc. We got to find out that big massive reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's dad, when we believed that he killed Luke's dad. It's just really cool. Just lots of really good things in it as well. Cloud City, it just looks beautiful, every scene in it. And fun fact, when George Lucas was doing the special editions, he didn't really add anything to this movie because it was already that good. I think the only thing he added was the scene at the beginning with the I don't know what you'd call him, snowman, abominable snowman. I don't actually know what they called him. Please put that in the comment section below if you know its name. But yeah, that whole scene was rehashed a little bit better, and that's about it. That's all they really added to it, which that's a sign that it was already good. Yeah, like I said, Empire Strikes Back, 9 out of 10 is top of everybody's list. It's even the top ranked Star Wars movie by your main publicists as well. So yeah, that pretty much is the best to worst video, or worst to best video. Like I say, use the comment section below to have your say. Do you think that the facts that things that I've talked about made sense? Are you a Star Wars fan? If you've not watched a Star Wars movie, that's perfectly fine. Does this make you want to watch a Star Wars movie? Out of the ones I've mentioned, which one would you be most intrigued to watch? If you've heard of Jar Jar Binks, what did you think of that character? Just anything what you could add to this video. Do you think that I may have misworded something? You just let me know. Because it's all about a learning process for me as well. So yeah, so this has been my Star Wars ranked worst to best. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, have your say in the comment section below. Put your list from worst to best, or just let me know your top 3. It's all I need to know. Other than that, I've been Dave in real life. You've been awesome, and remember to always keep it real. Until the next time, bye for now.